Hey, fight fans, we're here at the Undisputed Gym here in San Carlos, California. With me here is Robert Grandpa Garcia. Robert, you're back again, once again, in Nonito Donaire's training camp as usual. Obviously, big fight coming up for Nonito. What can you first tell us about his training camp?
That's right. It's a big fight, and as always, Nonito's trained very hard for this fight. I think for this fight, this fight and his last fight, have been the best camps I've ever seen. Due to the fact that he already had his fight against Montiel lined up, and now it's coming up. We're 2 weeks away. He's more than ready.
Now, this is a fight that he's been looking forward to for a long time now. Obviously, I'm sure you could see that he's very amped up for this fight. Has he prepared anything different from his last couple of fights now that he's in kind of the biggest fight in his career, Victor Archina notwithstanding?
You know what? Nonito is a fighter that can adjust to any style, and his style is always the flashy style. That's why I tell him, you have to have fun inside the ring. You got to dance, you got to do your footwork like the way you do it, because that's your nickname. You're Flash. So do all that, have fun inside the ring, and that's what he always trains for. He's always enjoying it. Like I said, this fight is the biggest, so he's doing a lot more than what he normally does. But there's no difference in training. His training is the same. As the fight goes along, if we see we have to make a few changes, then we'll do them. He does the same. He adjusts to his opponents very easy. So if he needs to make any changes, he'll do it in the ring. But we'll be ready for that.
Just to mix it up a little bit, 1 week later, you've got a huge fight with Brandon Rios out with Miguel Acosta, also in Las Vegas. Bam Bam, how's he doing? What's his training looking like? And how ready is he for this fight?
You know what, Bam Bam is a fighter that's always trains hard, but for this fight, he's training so hard. He loves to spar, and he's doing 10, 12 rounds without a problem. He's actually Monday's going to be his last day of doing 12 rounds, and he's done it like 4 or 5 times already. He's in tremendous shape. He's just ready for ready for that moment, and he, like he says, he wishes it was this weekend, but we still got to wait a couple more weeks.
Now, with you with 2 big fights back to back, I mean, what's life for you like these days? With 2 different training camps and 2 different locations, how do you manage to kind of live the rest of your life?
It's been pretty busy, but I love it. I go back home for 3 or 4 days with Brandon, and I come back to Nonito for another 3 days, and I don't mind. I love driving, and then at the same time, my new gym is barely getting started, so I have all the new members coming in. Good thing I got good people there that run my gym and are doing a great job over there. But I just love this. Like I tell the fighters, to be great at this sport, you got to love every single moment of it. And same thing with me. To be a great trainer, I got to love it. I enjoy every single moment of it. I enjoy waking up in the morning to run. I enjoy coming to the gym. It's just something that you got to love.
Last time we saw Bam Bam, he was out training and doing a little bit of sparring with Antonio Margarito. I know Margarito's kind of been laying low these past couple of months just to kind of relax and get his bearings back. What do you see in the future for Antonio Margarito? Is he currently doing any sort of training right now? Is he just kind of remaining, taking a little bit of time off, or what does his future look like?
No, Margarito's already training. Margarito is a person, a fighter that always likes to stay in shape. He's been running for at least a month already. He still can't spar because of the surgery that he had in his eye, but the way it looks like he'll probably be fighting again in June.
Is there any opponents that have been thrown out right now in any particular division, whether it be welterweight or junior middleweight?
Well, I think it'll be junior middleweight, and Adam has already mentioned him fighting Cotto. If Cotto comes out, with a win against Mayorga next month. But there's a lot of big fights out there for Margarito still. I think the Manny Pacquiao fight gave him that opportunity to still get those big name opponents, and he's ready. He loves to stay in shape. He actually wanted to fight before that, but his just like he trained for, like I tell him, just like you train for the fight for 2.5 months, you also need your body to rest. You need to let your body heal. He took some punishment in that fight, so you got to let your body rest. I told him, take a few months off, rest, and don't think about any fights between. You just go straight into that June fight.
Well, Robert, you had a hell of a career. Now you've got a hell of a training career. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Hope everything works out for you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.